Wait, scratch that. That's not how you start this. This is. Before we begin, some minor updates. After finishing reading this book on Turkey Day, I realized I needed to make another. As was the case the last time, Book 3 has yet to come out. In the meantime, people have found much better books to read, and amateur fanfic writers have managed to write at ludicrous speeds from Spaceballs. As was with the last time, spoilers, but I also want to go over several stories from the lore. The first is with an odd fellow by the name of Jax, who managed to steal... And also with the Chandrian from last book, who apparently, in the lore, managed to completely destroy 8 cities on their own.
What's that? It's hard to hear you over the sound of melting city.
How did you even do this?
A dollop of fairy dust.
Carl.
I ripped the tag off a mattress.
And Bast is last, who we learned is Hothead's magical servant who is bound to him, basically making him his stand or something. At the beginning of the book, we return to the Waystone Inn, where Hothead is magic-proofing himself from the last book and reminiscing on being a wanted criminal.
SpongeBob, I shot my mom for touching my barnacles, and I'm looking at 15 to 20 years.
Continuing from the last book, Chronicler goes back to doing what his name says he does, chronicling. We return to the university, where everyone is waiting online for their tokens for their positions during standardized testing to improve the school's funding. However, Ambrose shows up and poisons Hothead by proxy using a potion that removes his psychological filters.
SpongeBob, I've just overdosed on bath salts, and I'm going to eat myself alive.
After swapping places with a friend and finishing his exams, he takes out money from a shady loan shark because he has no other options besides the university in life.
I've got nowhere to go. I burned my house down once it had enough swans inside, and I used up the rest of my savings buying the swans.
And whose fault is that, Carl?
Society. Society and the swans.
One of Hothead's activities is going off to the archives to do research on the Chandrian. At one point, he learns that their leader, Dahood, once went by the name of, Smirnoff.
Listen to me. That man in there, I know he doesn't look it, but he is one of the most dangerous men in the world. He's, murdered many children.
He also finds a child's drawing from the last book, which hints at the existence of a secret government organization that deals with paranormal threats and beings. Hothead meets with his love interest Denny's yet again in the theater, and she has a quest for him. Retrieve her ring from Ambrose's apartments, but it fails for exactly the reason you'd expect.
Sorry, SpongeBob. I'm trying to sneak into the chum bucket to steal back me formula, but I'm dummy thick, so the clap of my ass cheeks can be heard by Karen's alarm system.
Despite the fact that he has top-notch equipment, Hothead ends up getting spotted by a furious guard dog and leading to an epic chase scene.
Oh, he's running, he's still running. Oh, he in trouble now. The police are everywhere. Are you seeing this? No, I'm a helicopter.
The next day, Hothead begins experiencing odd symptoms and suspects he might have been hexed, somehow. His 2 friends from earlier suspect that it was the loan shark that hexed him, so he goes over to her, they get into a huge staring contest, and it's proven that she's actually innocent this time. Turns out it was Ambrose, who used his blood from the crime scene to create a voodoo doll to try and torture him with.
Sorry, what I meant to say is that I really love working with kids. Oh!
Excuse me?
No, nothing. I think I just have something wrong with my balls!
In retaliation, Hothead and its comrades go into the archives to find the instructions to a magic-proofing device. They find the schematics and construct the device with the help of the moneylender, shielding Hothead. They then conspire for revenge against Ambrose by staging a fire in his room, which incinerates the doll, along with several other things and collateral damage.
He burnt my Krabby Patty.
He burnt my fries.
He burnt my shake.
So for about 5 minutes, it looks like things are going well for Hothead, as he even begins dabbling in inventing.
It's an orphan stomper. Just let me explain. Efficiency. Industry. Never before has this many dead bodies been so manageable.
Carl!
I'm the Henry Ford of human meat.
There are also several scenes he has with his Professor Eladin, as long as his comrade from earlier, Ori, who shows both of them various relics she finds in her basement lair thing.
Okay, here we are in my basement. They come over and they play and they leave their stupid Star Wars shit around. The Qui-Gon sucker. They didn't even eat the sucker.
Lastly, he even finds a way to pay back the debt he has to the moneylender.
SpongeBob, I just extorted 15 Chinese kids, and now I made $1,000.
Unfortunately, Ambrose quickly puts a stop to that and puts Hothead on trial. Turns out he's still upset about that calling the name of the wind thing to break his arm from last book, huh? This is made even worse by the fact that Ambrose has a notoriously corrupt judge presiding over the case.
I'm not a real judge, so I have no idea what I'm doing, but I love the noise this hammer makes.
Fortunately, Hothead ingeniously manages to defeat him in the court by stealing the judge's hammer thingy.
This is called a gavel, and no, you don't get one.
But can I borrow yours for a minute? Oh, thank you. Fred burger, Fred burger. Fred burger, Fred burger.
Relax and sit back down.
But I wasn't finished.
Okay, let's call our first...
Almost done. Fred burger, Fred burger. There you go.
Ow.
Even after winning the trial, the student council declares that Hothead's trial has left a bad reputation for the university, and they passive-aggressively suggest that he skip a semester to let the whole thing blow over. Fortunately, Denny's then comes to Hothead with her friend Count 3P, who reveals that he is a rich guy who provides money and instruments to up-and-coming musicians.
Pianos aren't supposed to bleed and scream.
I guess it was less a piano and more a statement on pianos.
Why can't you go horrify someone else?
3P explains that he has a super rich friend who could use someone like him, so he books Hothead passage to the city by ship. Of course, being Hothead, he finds a way to muck it up.
SpongeBob, I just drank 7 kegs of whiskey. I'm about to push me boat into the school.
Eventually, Hothead does make it to the city and makes it to the mayor's estate by using falsified credentials. Upon reaching the mayor, he gives Hothead fairly decent accommodations, which he subsequently trashes.
All I wanted was a bleeding pillow, mint!
The mayor reveals that he needs Hothead's help in wooing a woman that he's interested in. They share wisdom together.
God, I wish there was a way I could just do it myself. You know, just to be done and napping within 4 minutes.
Let me show you something.
That was amazing. So you can do that, like, what, once a year or something?
No, you can do it basically whenever you're not doing something else.
Cool. Hey, next time I want to try it with my hand.
While at the mayor's estate, he encounters this one boomer, and because of that, their interaction goes as such.
Boomer!
While in the city, he encounters Denny's coincidentally, who's there doing stuff. At one point, Hothead figures out that the mayor's physician is poisoning him, so they chase him out of the city and put the mayor back on actual medicine.
Bleach. Here, drink it. Bleach is healthy. It's mostly water. And we're mostly water. Therefore, we are bleach.
We briefly cut back to the present day at the Waystone Inn, where Hothead is trying to open a safe that he finds in his bedroom, and Bass saves him from nearly getting his penis stuck in the keyhole. Again. This leads to an endless slew of theorists trying to answer the age-old question of what's in the box. And it looks like I've run out of time for this half of the video. See you in part 2.